G. Ramaswami Pillai. There are certain old devotees who may not seem that well-known, important or significant only because they chose to remain in the background. But in their relationship with Bhagavan and in their understanding and practice of his teachings, they are deeply significant. Although some of them were not very popular and, alas, to some extent, even disliked by others, their relationship with Bhagavan was as wonderful as those of other better-known devotees. Ramaswami Pillai came from a family of non-vegetarians. However, even as a child, he could not bring himself to eat meat, and so he became a vegetarian. Seeing this, the rest of his family too became vegetarians. He studied the Bible thoroughly and read the Buddha's teachings. He once told me, "I have been to the mosque many times and offered prayers just like Muslims do. When they said Allah, I could feel God." He never looked upon it as something alien or different. Such was his background. Ramaswami Pillai studied in Chidambaram, 90 miles away from Thiruvannamalai. One day, his teacher showed the class a picture of Bhagwan and said, "This is the picture of a great sage living in Arunachala." Of the 40 students in the class, Ramaswami Pillai was the only one to be so magnetized by the picture that after class he went to his teacher and asked, "Sir, may I have a picture of that saint?" The teacher was only too glad to give him the picture. Recollecting this, Ramaswami Pillai told me, "Before I went to Bhagavan, Bhagavan came to my room." Many people who have had a similar experience have told me, before I could go to my master came to me. After receiving this picture of Bhagavan, Ramaswami Pillai had a strong urge to meet Bhagavan. He soon made his way to Thiruvannamalai, where he found Bhagavan seated on a rock in Virupaksha cave. Ramaswami Pillai said his very first darshan made him think, here sits the single sovereign monarch of the universe, a Maharaja, a Chakravarti. This feeling did not come to him on the first darshan alone. He said, "Every time I looked at Bhagwan, no matter how many times a day, all those years until he passed away, I felt that here is the single sovereign monarch of the universe." By then, Bhagwan had already composed Aksharamana Malai, a hymn with 108 verses. It took the young Ramaswami Pillai just a little more than an hour to learn the verses by heart. From then on, even though just a schoolboy, he chanted the verses constantly. Ramaswami Pillai's second visit was when he was in college. Bhagwan had by then moved to Skandashram. That day, when he visited the master along with his friend, Bhagwan was going around the hill. He was taking the inner forest route that winds around the base of the hill. As he and his friend followed Bhagwan through the thick woods, he felt that Bhagwan was like a monarch marching ahead with his army following him. The Giri Pradakshina had such an impact on him that the very next day he wanted to do it again, but this time alone. But on the forest path, he lost his way and did not know what to do. When he turned around, he found the ashram dog Kamala behind him. Kamala, realizing that he was lost, started walking in front, leading him through the forest. Wherever he rested, she too lay down. Whenever he stood up, she resumed walking. She did not leave his side for a minute. In this manner, she led him until he reached the town and then disappeared. When he returned to Skandashram, Kamala was already there. While the dog was leading him, his feeling was that this was not just a mere dog, it was Bhagavan himself who had come in this form. When he returned to Skandashram, he looked at Bhagavan, and Bhagavan gave him a very beautiful smile. At that moment, Ramaswami Pillai said, "I was more than convinced that Bhagavan would guide me through the unknown paths of life." That was his first real experience in the presence of Bhagwan. He started visiting Bhagwan often. On such a visit, he yearned to witness a miracle performed by Bhagwan. One evening when he went into town, somebody gave him a coconut and some broken rice. He brought these things to Bhagwan. Bhagwan said, "We can make a very nice porridge out of this. Find out if we have some sugar candy or sugar." He was thrilled that Bhagwan, who usually never asked for anything, had asked for sugar candy.